to the class, the first thing you need to do is you need to log into aplusstudents.com. You need to select math as your subject. Okay, these are some prereqs we need to do, and we are studying for grade 4 math, right? And the topic for today is decimals. Okay, so the topic is decimals, and let's look at the chapter number. The chapter number is 10. Chapter number is 10, and the lesson number for today is 2. So we would be doing chapter 10, lesson number 2, and the name of the lesson is Understanding Decimals in Expressed Words, expressed in words. In words, okay? So let's go to grade 4 math. Let's log into grade 4 maths. Okay. We go to chapter number 10, decimals, and the lesson number 2. Okay. Before doing this, let's see how we read decimal numbers. Okay. So if we have a decimal point, okay, a decimal point shows the numbers that is, let's suppose, 110th part of a 1. The numbers can be divided into 10 parts, 100 parts, and so on, right? 1,000 parts and so on. So what we do is, the first thing we write is, let's suppose we have a decimal over here. Decimal is a dot. So if we say this is a decimal point, okay, I'll just write it over here. If this is a decimal, okay, decimal point over here. Okay, let's put the decimal a little at the bottom. Okay, this is a decimal point. We know that before the decimal, it always a ones. Okay, before the decimal, this position is known as ones. Okay, and before the ones, we have tens. Agreed? This would be tens. And before tens would be a hundreds, right? And so on. We can go till 1,000, 10,000, and so on. So we say this is hundreds. Okay, this is a 100 position. Okay, that means when a number is multiplied by a ones, that means it is at a one. Hi May. So when a number is at a ones position, it is multiplied by 1. When a number is at a tens position, it multiplied by 10. And when a number is at 100 position, it is multiplied by 100, right? So we can say that this is multiplied by 100, multiplied by 10, multiplied by ones, and this. But if we go on the other side of the decimal number, right? The number, let's suppose 0.2 or 0.1, right? So if we move on to the other side, if it's multiplied by 0.1, okay? So we call this as tens. This would be tens. That the number is divided into 10 segments out of 1, right? This would be tens. If we multiply the number by 0.01, that means it's hundreds. D, T, H, and S. This is the hundreds position, okay? I'm just writing it down. I'll just make a grid out of it so that it is much more easier for us to understand, okay? What we need to do this in this topic is, we need to see what happens when the numbers are multiplied with units, tens, hundreds, and so on, right? We look at these possible cases over here. Just a minute, please. Let me complete this, then we'll do the diagram. So decimal is the point where on the left side we will always have the whole numbers that are ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. And on the right side we will have tens and hundreds, thousands, and so on, right? So today what we are trying to do is we are trying to look at the numbers and trying to name the numbers having decimal numbers next to it. Okay, so keeping this in the mind, the difference over here was this is hundreds, right? This is the hundreds and this is a hundredth, THS, right? So we will have a difference over there. So whenever we have 100, that means it's being multiplied by 100. If it's a hundredth, that means it's the hundredth part of one. So one can be, it's like a dollar can be broken down into 100 cents, right? So that would mean 1 cent is the 100th part of a dollar. Okay, so let's look at a question and let's see what they're asking. Welcome to the class. In the question, they're asking us, write 2/7700 as a decimal number. If the question is given to us in a word problem, okay, keeping this in mind, let's see what we can do over here. Oh, sorry, apologies. Hundreds as a decimal number. Let's try writing this as a decimal number for question number 1. So what are they saying is there's a 2 and 77 and this 7 is with the hundreds, right? That means it is on the second decimal place. Okay, 77 and 700s, right? So can we say that 2, this 2 and 70, that is 7 and 700s. 2.77 is the final answer. 2 and 77 hundredths as a decimal number. So we can write 2.77. Okay, 2.77. Thank you so much. 2.77. Moving ahead with the next question, I'll just do 2 questions on a space. Write 2, just a minute, please. Let me copy. Write 2/67 hundredths as a decimal. Very similar question. Okay, question number 2. I'm just doing it horizontally over here. As a decimal number, we need to write this as a decimal number in question number 2. So what we can say is, write 2/67 hundredths. Hi everyone, welcome to the class. Let's look at these questions, okay? It says, the question number 1 said 2/77 hundredths, right? The 7 goes with the hundreds. And whenever 100 ends with a THS, that means it's one part of 100, right? We know it from here, from the grid, that it's one part of the 100th, okay? So the question number 2 says 2/60, right? 60, and that says 700ths part. That means 7 parts out of 100. Okay, 2.67. Do we agree? Okay, thank you so much. Do we have any question regarding this? Okay, no. Let's look at the next question. We'll just try to keep it very simple and we'll try to see what possibilities are there with different types of numbers, right? Okay. Write 5 and 5/10 of a number. In question number 3, they're asking us to write this as a decimal number. Over here, the question number 3 says 5 and 5/10. Okay. So what will that be? Five and 5/10 would mean 5 is the ones, right? This 5 would be the ones, 5, and gives us the decimal point. And we have 5 tens. That means we have 5 tenths. It ends with THS. That means 5 multiplied by 0.1 will be 5.5. Okay, let's focus on the questions. Okay, please do. And it's okay. Yes, 5.5, which can also be written as, yes, it can also be written as 5.50. Okay. Yes, it's the same. 5.5 equals to 5.5 means 5.5. 5.50 means $5.50. It's the same thing, right? We'll have the same. Moving on ahead to the next question. Okay, let's look at the next question. They are saying write 146. Let's see. The most important part in doing these kinds of questions is that we need to look at what is written next to the question. Because if it says tens, then we consider the tens. If it says hundreds, then we consider the hundreds. This part I'll highlight, tens and hundreds. This is very important for us to see how many decimal places would be there. Okay, I'll explain the question. Okay, again, don't worry. For question number 4, write 1 and 46 hundredths. 1 and 46. That means 1, which place is it? This is at the units place. 1 is at the units place. We write 1 and gives us the decimal point 46 hundredths, right? That means 46, 4 comes at the tens position, 40, and this was 6 parts out of 100. So 6 parts out of 100 means 0.01 was 1 part of 100, right? So 6 parts out of 100 would mean 0.06. At the second decimal place, we write 1.46. Okay. Let's move ahead to the next question. I'll keep on revising, right? We'll keep on doing the questions. For the next question, they're asking us, yes, thank you so much, 1.46. Okay. Right, 650. Okay. Depending on the question, if they say write 652 as a decimal, right? So what can we say in this question? Hundreds. It was saying hundreds. I'll copy this. I'll just change the same question. Okay. Okay. I'll just change the next question later. Let's focus on question number 5 for now. In question number 5, it says write 650. How many 200s? 200s, right? That means 6 point. This was 50, right? 50. And how many positions for the 100? 6.5, right? In the next question, if I'm changing question number 6, if I would change the question, if I would say 5, sorry, I'll just remove this. 6 and 5 tenths. So our focus over here is on this number. It says tenths, it says hundreds. If it's saying hundreds, that means it's a second decimal place. If it's saying 10, it means it's the first decimal place, right? So can we write this as 6 0.5 tens, right? 6.5. Okay. So if I only remove 200s and I put a tens over there, right? No, it would not be 6.1 because there are 5 tens. Okay, there are 5 tens. So 0.1 multiplied by 5 would be 0.50, right? 6.50. Okay. Yes, thank you. So what we are focusing is that a small change, one word change in the question can change the total context of the question. Okay. Moving ahead, let's look at the next question. The next question we have, it says, okay, again it says 10th. So the next question we have is saying, write 8, okay, as a decimal number. Okay. What about question number 7? What can we say about this? Apologies, I have a sore throat. That's why I mute for a few seconds in the middle. Okay. Okay. Write 8 and 6/10 as a decimal number. Okay. So how we can write? We can say that this is an 8 and refers to the decimal, right? And 6/10. That means yes. And we can also write 8.60. Thank you so much. It's a okay. Thank you, May. It's correct. Adibe, it's also correct. Okay. Moving on to the next. Can I have the answer to write 131? Okay. If I said 131, that means there were 3 numbers, right? There are already 3 numbers. So that means 100 has to be there as a decimal number. This would be our question number 8. So what can we say about question number 8? Write 1 and 31 hundredths. This one is 1 and means a decimal. Okay. Very good. Very good. 1.31. Thank you so much. No, we do not have to. No, it's not 131 because we have a number ending in THS, right? So whenever the number was ending in THS, that means it's the decimal part of the number. Okay. 1 is the unit and 31 is the part of the decimal, right? That means 31, 3 and 1 hundreds, right? So one position in the 100 position, 1.31. Okay. Thank you. I hope this is clear. Okay, moving on to the next question, question number 9. Let me just copy question number 9. Meanwhile, we can have a look on the screen. Okay. The question number 9 says, write 270 1 hundredths. Okay, that is 70 1 hundredths, right? This is question number 9. So can we say 2 is the unit part and comes with the decimal, right? This is 70. How many hundreds were there? There was a single hundred part. Yes. Thank you, Rowan. That is 2.71. Moving ahead to the next question. Okay. Write 5 1 2 tens, okay, as a decimal number. If the question number 10 says this, we need to write this number as a decimal number. So how can we write this number as a decimal? Thank you everyone for answering. Your answer is correct, 2.71. How can we write 5 and 2 tenths? So we know 5 is the unit part and gives us the decimal. There is 2 tenths, right? Yes, 5.2 is our given answer. Okay. And if someone writes 5.20000 unlimited zeros, it will still be equal to 5.2, right? But if your question says give your answer to 2 decimal places, okay, then you write 5.20. Until anything is told to you, you simply write 5.2 as your answer. Okay. If there is extra information, there is a requirement where how you need to give your answer, then we will follow that. If nothing is mentioned, if there is nothing mentioned how to give the answer, then we write 5.2 as our final answer. Okay. Okay. The next question we have is write 586 hundredths. Okay, I'll just copy this. Sorry, it says write 586 hundredths as a decimal. We have question number 11 over here. How can we do? Nate, what would we do with this? Rowan, focus on this question. 5 and 80, right? If it was 5 and 8 tens, we know what will be the answer, right? But we can see it ends with the hundreds position. There are 6 hundreds positions, right? So can we say 5 and 80? How many 6 positions were there? Hundreds position there. Thank you so much. Thank you, May. Thank you, Rowan. 5.86 would be your final answer. Okay. Moving to the next question, we says write 173. See, when I'm saying 173, I'm not saying hundreds or tens, right? But when I'm saying 173, that means I'm already speaking about 3 digits. Okay. So if we have the question with us and it says write 173 hundredths. So we know that there are 3 hundreds, right? 1/10th position, 10th, TH. And how many units were there? There was 1 unit. Let this be question number 12. So we can write this as, yes, we will do the test. We will do a lot of questions from the test. Okay, Rowan, just let me do a few more. We have questions and we'll try to finish all the questions in the test. Okay, so that you people can answer. That would be, thank you so much. That would be 1.73, right? 1.73 refers to 1 and 73 hundredths. Okay, just 2 more questions, then we do the test. Okay, because if the test has less number of questions, we will be done before time. Okay, then we'll have to come back to these questions again. Okay, so let's do a few, then we would complete the test. Thank you for understanding. How about this? Question number 13 says 4, 6, 700s. What is 4, 6, 700s? 4 and 60 700s. Okay. Okay. I'll try to make a mistake in one of the questions. In the upcoming question, I'll try to make a mistake. Please correct me when I'll make a mistake. Okay. Just tell me in the next question, where is the mistake? Okay. Oh, next is very easy. I would not be able to make a mistake in the next one after this. Let's see if we are able to find the mistakes as well, right? This is very simple, so I cannot do anything for this. Question number 14. 1 and 1/10. Very simple, right? There's one position for 10th and there is 1 So this is very simple, right? It should be 1.01, right? Because it's 1/10. Should it be 1.01? Yes, it should be 1.1. This is the 100th position, right? So this we cannot say, but this is correct, right? I'm so sorry. Yes, May. We cannot write 1.01 because there was not a 100th position. The question did not have a 100th, right? The answer would be only 1.1. Thank you for finding my mistake. Okay, let's see if in the next question we have a correct answer or an incorrect answer. If I would say, I'll try to change the value, okay? Okay, for the next question, if I say, if this is the question given to us, let's say the answer for this question would be 83700s, right? So can I write 837? Agreed? Is this correct? Right? Because there were hundreds also in this. Yes, 8.37, right? So we cannot write 8.73 because there is 30 and there is 7 of hundreds, 8.37. Okay, thank you so much. One more question and then we go to the test. Write 5, 6, 73. 5 and 73 hundredths as a decimal number. 573 hundredths. Let's focus. Job focus. Thank you, everyone. Okay, we had 5 and 7, 3. Okay, of 100. Okay, 5.73 would be your final answer. Okay, so let's try some questions. Let's try some questions from the test. Can we all open up the test together so that we have the same questions on the screen and we solve them together? Okay, the first question in the test says, we have two options given to us. I'll just give the heading for the test. I'll just paste this first question. Okay. These are the two options given to us. Okay, option A or option B. This is from the test. Question number 1. What option is the correct option? A or B? Rohan, what is the correct answer? Let's focus on the test. Write 5 and 5/10 as a decimal number. So which option should be correct for this? Option A or option B? Yes, that would be option number 1. Thank you. Moving ahead to the next question. Okay. Please do solve the questions along with me. Let's do it together so that once we are done with the lesson, we would be done with the questions as well. Okay. So for the next question, we have 2.776 as a decimal number. So how can we write this as a decimal number? For question number 2, can we have the answer? Right, 2 and 77/100. Yes. Thank you so much. We have 2 77/100. Option A is the correct answer. Thank you for your answer. We say 2 point and for the decimal 70 and there were 7/100. Okay. Thank you. Moving ahead with the next question. We have the question number 3. Let's click on the correct option. Okay, great. So we say write 8/40 as a decimal number. And let's copy this next question on the screen. And question number 3 says this. Okay. This is question number 3 with these two options, and we need to write them as a decimal number. Okay. This is question number 3. So what can we do over here? Option A, option B, 49/100, right? It's on the right hand top corner of the page where you have the questions. When you are inside the topic, the chapter and the topic, you'll see on the right hand top corner of the website, there's a test there. Okay. I hope you found the test. Right hand top corner of the page. Okay. Yes, let's see. Which option? 8 and 49/100, right? That means 8.49 is the correct answer. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Job. Okay, 8.49 is the correct option. Moving to the next question, that is question number 4. Okay, let's see. Question number 4 from the test states that we need to do this. The options given to us are 2.67 and 4.56. We need to change this into a decimal number. Sorry. This says question number 4, and these are the two options, A and B. So we say 2. The unit value is? The value of the unit in this case is 2, right? If we have 2 over here, we can directly look at the options as well. The first option had 2 point something and the second option was 4 point. That means option B cannot be the answer, right? We simply by looking at the options, we can discard the incorrect answer also, right? But preferable is we find the complete statement. That means 260 700s, right? We can say option A is the correct answer, right? Rohan, did you find the test? I'm doing a mute because I have a sore throat. So for a few seconds, I would mute. Okay. I hope you don't mind. Okay. For the next question, we have this. And we need to write this as a decimal number. Okay. So question number 5 states this. Write. Yes, they might not give you option. That's why we did the questions before this, right? We did the questions before this, and yes, option A. Why option A? Are we talking about question number 5? You're saying option A or question number 4? Oh, that was question number 4, right, Eva? In question number 5, what we need to see is it says 1 over here. But when we look at the option, this was 2 and this was 1. So automatically option A in question number 5 would be disregarded. Why? Because this should be 1. So we can say this is 1.7 and 300s, right? Yes, thank you. And about Tony, May, and Job, right? Everyone, thank you. We look at the next question. Question number 6. The answer was 173 hundredths, okay? So the next we have is write 586 hundredths as a decimal number. So if the next question says write 586 hundredths as a decimal number, so we just copy it from here as a decimal number. This is question number 6. Option A and option B. So which option should be the correct? That is very good, Rohan. But we are doing the test together, right? I understand, very good you did the test, but let's do it together and let's understand together, okay? It says 5/600 with an 80 over here. That means 5. Yes. Option 2. Option B. Yes. 5.86. Thank you for the answer. Moving ahead, okay, I'll click on 5.86. Okay, we have the next question. It says, write 1 and 46 hundredths as a decimal number. See, sometimes it's very easy just by reading the questions, okay? So let's read this and let's not try to solve it first, right? Let's just read the question and let's see what are the possibilities that we have. See, the possibilities we have are 2 possibilities over here, right? 4.6 and 1.46. This was option A, this is option B. All we need to do is we need to look at this 1. Okay? It's okay to make mistakes because we are here to learn. So we make the mistakes in the class so that we do not make the mistakes in the exams, okay? Or the test. So it says it starts with a 1. That means any option that starts with a 1 should be the correct answer, right? So option B should be correct because it is 1 point, right? And we can say 1.4 and there were 600s. Do we agree on this? Yes, thank you. That is option number B. The next question we have is, write 573 as a decimal number. So if this question says write 573 as a decimal number, so we can say this was question number 8, option A or option B. Question number 8. Yes, Tony, thank you. Because since it's starting with a 5, then we look at the options. Okay, if I would say there was another option, I'll just make up a new option to this. Let's say there was option number C that said 5.37, right? So now what we need to do is, since it's starting with a 5, we look at the 5 in both the cases. This could be correct or this could be correct. Then we look at the second part. This is 73. It cannot be 37, right? So we go with the 73. 5 point. Sometimes the given options could be very close match to each other, right? They might not be starting with 6. May you wrote 4.67. What is the answer? What is the question? 4.67. You're just giving us an option, right? Yeah, there could be multiple options that could be very near the answer. So we need to be very careful. We look at the correct option first, or we simplify this first, and then only we try to find the correct answer. Okay. Let's go to the next question we have. So the next question we have is, write 837. 837, and there is a hundreds over there as a decimal number. Okay, let's write this as a decimal number. This is our question number 9. Which option should be correct? Just by looking at this 8, we can find the answer, right? Oh, in option C, it's not correct because it says 73 over here. We need to find 73. And this option B only had 73 on it, right? For the previous question. In question number 9, yes, it needs to start with 8. So we can simply say this is the answer, but we still verify 8.30, and there were 700s. Agreed? Yes, thank you. That is option number A. Let's try a few more. So if we say we have question number 10, okay, this is 8.37. The next question we have is, it says, write 772. I'm not telling you hundreds or tens. I'm just reading the question. Once it's there, we'll know. Okay, write 772 hundreds as a decimal number. This is question number 10 from the test. Okay. Sorry. So what can we say? Option A or option B? Rohan and Ava, what should be the answer for this? May 8.37 was previous. What about this question? Yes, Tony, that would be 7.72, and 7.72 is option number because it says 7.7 and there were two hundreds, right? 7.7, right? So thank you so much, Aiken. Semi, right? Thank you, Rowan. Thank you, Job. So let's do one thing. We did 10 questions, right? Option B was the correct. Please complete the remaining 10 questions so that you may have your practice. Okay. I'll see you later. Have a nice day. Okay. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.